discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Good afternoon, family. Hope you guys are doing amazing today, and welcome to another episode of the Africa Today Show. My name is Juby, to everyone who's here on YouTube, all our YouTube channels, on the radio station, returning listeners on Spreaker, Spotify. Karibuni, wishing you a beautiful weekend ahead. But of course, welcome to the conversation as we talk about the cycle of human history and how actually we are the 7th civilization. I'm gonna be discussing on that as I share a video which is explaining and breaking down all that conversation, but much more also coming. We're going to be talking about Hillary Clinton, who has clarified about her not being on the Epstein files. So we're going to talk about that also a little bit, and then talk also about what is happening in Kenya, just a video that is circulating online of how the Indian men are now charging Kenyans to using some roads of where they stay. So getting crazy. But Karibu Sana Keith, how are you doing this afternoon?
Indians making them use roads, what?
Yes, Indians are making Kenyans to pay for using roads where they stay.
Listen, I don't know what to tell you African people. I don't know what to tell you. The amount of disrespect and stuff you people take, it's just crazy to me.
It's crazy. How is your day going?
Man, it's been long. Shit, I thought I'd be done. Headed to the house, but she took forever over here. I was there someplace at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm just now leaving the house at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Jesus Christ. And they want me to go get something else. I said, man, I got to go home. I ain't going to get nothing. Crazy as hell.
Sorry about that. But yes, let me start with this video. So this is a video circulating from Runda on TikTok, on Instagram, and people, of course, are talking about it, where we've seen an Indian businessman is charging Kenyans to use that particular road. Runda has been
talking about it. Whose road is it? You're in Kenya, you're in India. There's always this talking with Africans. Like the dude in synagogue. Look what they doing. Look what they doing. People say, this is Kenya. You take your ass back to India. This will not be tolerated. Period. Yeah. You're the majority there. And always, you Africans are the majority. You always get smacked in the head. Crazy.
Exactly. In the first comment, I see someone says the Gen Zs need to go there and teach these people this is not their country, literally.
That's what you should have been doing. Because your grandparents and your parents have let you down. This is crazy. You better start, Joey said, you better start growing a spine and getting some dignity. They always think this is them always testing you African people because you're known as cowards globally. They keep doing it. You're supposed to send a message that this is not going to be tolerated. You take your ass back to India.
This is crazy. So yeah, we need to do better literally as Africans, because personally I've been to Runda, never met this nonsense, never seen this nonsense. This is crazy. It's not even the government, it's an Indian, one person literally making Kenyans pay for a road.
Why would he ain't making you guys do nothing. You guys are choosing to do it. All you gotta do is get his ass out the way, knock him in the head, move him out the way.
See, he has a whole security literally like
okay, wait, you always got some boot picking African morons. You move them out the way too. Talking about shit's crazy.
As we continue away from that, we have Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, who has talked about her not being on the Epstein files. I want to share that video as we continue.
She's in there too. She's in there too. That's why she's long with Pizzagate. We also know they they had Seth Rich murdered allegedly, but spilled the bag. That was 10 years ago. They had this man unalive with Judah Summer. We're going to pull that up after this. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew. And what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any
That's a lie.
communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. But
Casually, sure. They don't know people casually, but how do you know your husband and not you? How's your husband down that island, goddamn 100 times, and you didn't know nothing? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, Jeffrey Epstein was in the White House when your husband was president. When your husband was president, he was visiting the White House. You was up in there, so you ain't never met. There's always some bullshit going on.
Clinton spent more than 6 hours being grilled by Republican and Democratic members of the House Oversight Committee today about what she knows about Jeffrey Epstein. She said the committee was basically wasting their time with her.
I thought it was very repetitive. I thought that they asked literally the same.
They're really comfortable with it because they know at the end of the day they're not going to be taken.
Exactly. Understand that the people that question are all in those files too. They're all in on it, guys. This is all fake. This is kabuki theater. She's in the files. The people that goddamn watched her, that interview, are in those files too.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. They're not gonna go anywhere, so they know they can just say anything, whatever.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, how you gonna investigate yourself, Joe?
You can't.
In questions over and over again, which didn't seem to me to be very productive. And then, as I said toward the end, there were other questions that were totally off subject. So if they are going to fulfill their responsibilities to literally investigate the investigation, which is what they originally said was the scope of their work, I think they could have spent the day more productively.
And the Republican members of the committee basically acknowledged that Secretary Clinton probably isn't the one to ask about Epstein.
I think this was a productive deposition today. I think we learned a lot.
Same people, like you say.
There were a lot of questions that we asked that we weren't satisfied with the answers that we got. But we will continue to move forward.
I would just say one of the things I learned today is if you really have specific questions about the Clinton Global Initiative or the relationship between the Clintons and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, you got to ask Bill Clinton.
That's a great point. The number of times that she said, "I don't know, you'll have to ask my husband," was more than a dozen.
So what about her husband, former President Bill Clinton? He's the one that absolutely appears repeatedly in the Epstein files, and he is going to testify under oath to the same exact House committee members tomorrow. Secretary Clinton said she is 100% confident that her husband knew nothing about Epstein's crimes.
I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light. But I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to tomorrow.
But there is a legitimate question about Secretary Clinton's alleged connections to Ghislaine Maxwell, especially because this photo exists of Maxwell at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Here's how the former secretary explained it today.
She came as the +1, the guest of someone who was invited.
Now, Democrats on the House Oversight Committee say by bringing the Clintons in under subpoena, Republicans have just opened the door to a new precedent that would require former presidents to testify under oath. The Democrats say if they take power back after the midterms, they are going to push to also depose President Trump, who, of course, also appears repeatedly in the Epstein files. Under the Republican leadership of the committee right now, the chairman says he doesn't think Trump needs to testify under oath for this reason.
Why won't you?
Well, President Trump has answered hundreds, if not thousands, of questions from you all about Epstein. And I think he's been very transparent in releasing the document.
The committee chairman did not say when it would happen, but he did promise that the full video of today's deposition of Hillary Clinton will be released to the public very soon.
Here's everything that.
Yeah, so that is literally Hillary
So
Clinton.
that's all crazy. I want you to type this in there. Say, did Hillary Clinton did Hillary Clinton have something to do with the murder of Seth, S-E-T-H, Rich, R-I-C-H? Did Hillary Clinton have something to do with the death of Seth Rich? See what pops up.
Hey everybody, welcome to Branded. I hope you're doing well and had a nice weekend. I know I did. Now it's time for another busy work week. Prior to discussing the topic that I want to discuss in this video, I want to talk about the phrase conspiracy theorist. The phrase conspiracy theorist was not a pejorative in the American lexicon until 1967. And it was
given by the CIA
as a result of CIA Dispatch 1035-9.
CIA was trying to make you not talk about positive. CIA was trying to make everybody. They said, "Look, what word can we use to make people seem crazy? We're talking about President Kennedy getting his head blown off." People starting to connect the dots and know that it's not real people killed them. So we're going to make a word, make it a pejorative, and say these are crazy people. When they bring up these certain topics, we're going to call them conspiracy theorists. And that's going to immediately put them in the crazy pile. So when somebody say, "Oh man, that's a conspiracy theorist right there," so that puts you in the crazy pile. That's a nut. Don't listen to that nut. That's a nut. So they put out there in all their propaganda, they own all the media. So anybody talking about certain topics would be labeled conspiracy theorists, even though you was telling the truth. And most likely you were right. But since most of the world is stupid and backwards, and like my brother listened to the goofy news, the news ain't say that. All right, goddamn. That'd be like that. So they say, "Oh, the people talking about the Epstein files, these are conspiracy theories." And then you say, "Hey, man," I asked my brother, "Man, you see them files? What was in the files?" "Hey, the news said those are conspiracy theories." You're like, what? That's how most of the world acts. Go ahead, Joey.
And what that did was the CIA was telling its assets and agents in the media to use the phrase conspiracy theorists to discredit individuals like Jim Garrison and Mark Lane and others that were questioning the veracity of the Warren Commission. And it has since been
the Warren Commission. Hold on, pause it. He's not saying people don't identify what you're talking about. The Warren Commission was a commission that they set up because people didn't believe in the story about what happened to JFK getting his head blown off. So they made another, like Joby said, they made a fake commission to investigate themselves. And of course, the Warren Commission said, "Oh yes, everything is true. It was no conspiracy to kill John F. Kennedy. It's just like we said it was." So they made a fake commission to investigate themselves. Go ahead, Joe.
Discredit anybody questioning the official narrative about things such as 9/11 or the COVID pandemic or anything. But that is where the phrase conspiracy theorist became such a taboo and bad word or bad phrase. But anyway, the topic I want to discuss tonight is on July 10th, 2016, a young man, a staffer for the DNC named Seth Rich, was murdered in Washington, D.C.
Of course. Now pause it. Rich was murdered, but giving information about the Clintons and them. fucking babies and eating them and doing all kind of wicked shit. Seth Rich gave out information. He tried to stay secret, but they whittled it down. See, when you work with organizations, they can pretty much figure out who was the leak, who told people shit. So Seth Rich said there's a lot of nasty shit going on with the Clintons and other people, Barack Obama and all the other pedophiles of Pizzagate. So Seth Rich got a bullet to the back of his head for not keeping his mouth shut about them putting their penises in babies and eating them. Okay? That's Hillary Clinton and them. I'm not in the Epstein file. Get your fake ass out of here. Go ahead, Joe.
A botched robbery, even though his wallet, cell phone.
Yeah, he never got robbed. That was stolen.
And that became, there were many people were questioning, the official narrative about it. And if you did, they automatically hit you with the conspiracy theorist label. I mean, you couldn't hardly get Seth Rich out of your name without them calling you a conspiracy theorist. And now, in the documents that have been declassed by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, they show that both the FBI and NSA had low confidence that the DNC emails were in fact hacked by Russia. And a forensic team that
they knew that Seth Rich gave that in. They knew that Seth Rich, all that fake. You know, whenever America does that fake propaganda, Russia, because they want to make Russia in it. Russia did it. It was the dirty Russians that hacked the files, and we need to go to war and smack Putin in the head and say, you better get your mind right for doing shit. It's Russia! It's Russia! And they do no damn Russia. It was Seth Rich who worked in them places and released all them fucking emails about them fucking babies. That's why they knew how to kill his ass. They knew that it's, Russia, you're a Russian hacker. It's usually because they're gonna start using the Chinese. The Chinese hacked China hacked it. China. That's the boogeyman. That's the boogeyman they use for the dumbass American people. Russia, but now 8 years later they told, remember that was Russiagate with Pizzagate, and then 7, 8 years later, that was a lie. We knew it was a lie when they did it. They own the media, so they can go 7 years later. The Russia thing was a lie. We were confused. We thought Russia was the hack. Now we found out through our investigation, it only took us 7 years of lies, that Russia had nothing to do with it. They knew that shit that they wouldn't begin with because they did it. They put a bullet in the back of this kid's head. Go ahead, Joe.
Of the emails said that it was not done as a result of a hacking. It was done more quickly, like somebody stuck a USB drive in there and downloaded them.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Julian Assange, in an interview after Seth Rich's murder, mentioned Seth Rich by name and said that individuals that sources of theirs.
Let's do this slow. Go to another video. Go to the next one. Too slow. So what happened was Julian Assange refused to give the name because Seth Rich sent those files to Julian Assange. And remember, after Julian Assange got those damn records, they locked his ass up. They never even charged him with it. This is how the real world works. When Joey's talking about power. So they locked Julian Assange up for 8, 9 years. They never charged him with nothing. Because he refused to say Seth Rich emailed him the files, but they knew it was. That's why they put a bullet in his head, right? That's why they put a bullet in Seth Rich's head. But they wanted to see if Julian Assange would tell who sent you this shit. That released this Pizzagate shit. Talking about we're fucking babies and putting pizza on their booty holes. Who sent it to you? He said, I'm a journalist. I can't give up my sources. You better tell us, we'll lock your ass up. So they locked Julian Assange. Remember, had him in there naked, beating him in the head with wet phone books. They were torturing his ass up in there. He didn't do nothing. He didn't commit no crime. But now you're fucking with the power of the planet. See, it only took 10 years, and now all the shit's come out with the Epstein files. See, this had something to do with Pizzagate. 10 years ago. And we know Hillary Clinton's all in that shit. But like the white guy said, oh, these are conspiracy theories. I'm a conspiracy nut. It's like my brother told me. You that conspiracy shit. I got to go. I'm hanging up on your ass, my brother. I was on the phone with Joe. No, Joey heard it. I started talking. I was on the phone with Joey too, with my brother. I gotta go. He talking that crazy shit to them Africans.
Veterans from the state.
Go ahead, Joe.
The Clinton Chronicles was originally released in June of 1994. The videotape had a very big impact, according to some, in the 1994 election. The Chronicles was put together because there were several people, not only in Arkansas, but across the nation.
Now remember that. Now pause that. Now remember Joby talking about the Clinton Chronicles. That's something to do with Joby showing the video of that movie where the guy said, "Hey, you guys all want Cadillacs? You guys want to carry with the FBI, the DEA, and ATF came and got Barry Seals." Joby showed the video. He said, "I'm gonna walk out of here. There's a goddamn thing y'all can do about it." And the FBI was like, "What? I get you boys Cadillac. Y'all want new Cadillacs?" He said, the guy said, "You do that for us? You do that for us? Yeah, I get y'all new Cadillacs." And then remember at that time, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton's white husband, right? He was the governor of Arkansas. That was Arkansas when they arrested. Because remember, the CIA was the one bringing in drugs into the country. And they were using Bill Clinton and his state to move the drugs into America. And so so when the FBI and all of them thought they had Barry Seals, they know Barry Seals was working for the CIA. So that's why he said, and this is the same shit anybody talking about. He said, "Hey, I know you guys think you got me, but there's gonna be a phone call, and I'm gonna walk out of here." Everybody's like, you're going to jail for the rest of your life, boy. You're going to jail for the rest of your life, boy. These drugs you've been running. He said, "I'm gonna walk out of here, and ain't a goddamn thing any of y'all can do about it." They started laughing, and she got the call from what? Bill Clinton. Remember? She got the call saying, "Hey, Bill, what do you want?" Because he's talking to Bill Clinton. He was the governor of Arkansas. He said, "Hey, Bill, what do you want?" And I said, And then she came and walked, "Boys, we got to let him go." What? We got to do what? That's how real power works. Yeah. "Boys, we got to let him go." I told y'all should have took the Cadillacs. But go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Activity that involved Bill and Hillary Clinton. That evidence was never allowed to be in court. The media refused.
Let me send this one video, Joby, real quick when I get to about 5 minutes.
People were
Go ahead,
prepared
Joe.
to film. Took the time and the effort to allow the people and the investigators involved to bring the evidence to you, the people, to view. What you're about to see, you're not going to believe. Some of you will say, "How could this happen?" All I ask you to do, sit back.
Because people are stupid.
Listen to.
They don't know. This is way back in '94. You know, I'm 20-some years old, early 20. So this is '94. Because I didn't know how the world really worked back then. I knew some of it. Not like I do now. I didn't know. I'm done 22 years old or some shit. What? We have no idea growing up how the real world works. We got what we see is a fake world. Fake presidents, fake governors. We have no idea who really runs the world, how it really works. It's crazy. Nothing like everything we believe is a fucking lie. Go ahead, Joby.
You make your own judgment.
Remember, pause for a second real quick, Joe. Remember Joby showed Bill Clinton's black son last year or the year before last? He said, "I'm Bill Clinton's black son. He don't acknowledge me." He looks just like his dad. He was fucking my mama back in the day, and they know I'm his son. I done took a DNA test. He knows I'm their son. Of course, we know you're son too, nigga. But they not gonna claim you. Your dad was putting his penis in all kind of women. And all kind of babies too.
On January 20th, 1993, William Jefferson Clinton became the 42nd President of the United States. At the time, most Americans were not aware of the extent of Clinton's criminal background. Nor were they aware of the media.
Hey, hold on, but pause it. I'm saying that we know Clinton, that's his fake name. We know Clinton is a Rockefeller. We know Clinton's real daddy's a Rockefeller. We know that for a fact now. We know Clinton's real name is Rockefeller, not fucking Clinton. We know Bill Clinton is a Rockefeller. Go ahead, Joby.
Information from the public. As State Attorney General and later Governor, Bill Clinton in 12 years achieved absolute control over the political, legal, and financial systems of Arkansas.
Of course, because of his family. His family are Rockefellers. So, of course, he got complete control of that state. And when they tell you the banking financial system. Because as a governor, you can't get control of the financial banking system. There's no governor. But Bill is a Rockefeller. Go ahead, Joe.
To do the same with the nation by bringing members of his inner circle with him to Washington. The hijacking of America was underway, and its impact on future generations would be
and look, now see, this is propaganda. You look, oh, the hijacking. America was already hijacked. They're trying to make it like Bill Clinton. Hijacking of America. See, this that right wing, left wing shit they're trying to get you. The country was already gone. That's what it was the cats that put them in power, the damn Rockefeller. So it started with Bill Clinton. What are you talking about? You had Reagan, you had Bush daddy, Bush Sr. before him, then Reagan, then Jimmy Carter, then Ford, and then Nixon, who were all, and LBJ, all puppets, all cat with the hat puppets. What is he talking about? Oh, see, this whole thing is propaganda. I know he listen to propaganda that Bill Clinton bought his whole inner circle. He had no inner. Bill Clinton is a goddamn puppet of his family. He talking about. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, you guys gotta quit asking about the video. Okay, in 2016, when Trump was running against Till for
Hillary Clinton,
the office of President of the United States, right around that time, Julian Assange released all of Hillary Clinton's emails.
Yeah, Pizzagate
Somehow, during that same time, somebody got a hold of Anthony Weiner's
laptop. So we pause it. See, now we're going back to Anthony Weiner again. Remember, we talking about Anthony Weiner, who was showing his dick to kids. Remember that? Yeah, Anthony Weiner, whose wife at the time was Hillary Clinton's executive assistant. Go ahead, Joby.
Anthony Weiner was married to Huma Abedin, who was Hillary Clinton's chief
executive assistant
of staff.
That's right.
On that laptop, I think I do remember how this happened or how this went down. So he had an allegation against him about SAing some girl, and I don't know if she was underage or not. I can't remember.
Yes, she was.
You'll have to go Google through and get those specific facts.
Then why do the video that you're talking about then, stupid?
The police ended up confiscating the laptop on
his computer. Yeah, we've been to this. Remember, they confiscated his computer and they found Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin allegedly fucking children and cutting out their faces and drinking their blood. That was on the laptop. Me and myself, and see all this connected. See that they're talking about, I'm not in the Epstein file. All this shit's connected, guys. And then, like Joey just showed you, you can't investigate themselves because they're all fucking wicked and they're all involved. So on that file, they were allegedly, I'm telling you, Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton were fucking little girls, killing them and drinking their blood. Now we know this is factual because it's all in the Epstein files too. But she's not in the files. She's not in the Epstein files. Oh no. Go ahead, Joby.
Folder. that said insurance policy.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
Within that folder was the video.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, some way, somebody released that video.
Yep.
One day,
Seth Rich did.
I was on Facebook.
Seth Rich.
And this was pre-lockdown days.
Pre-lockdown
days of really any social media.
Yeah, censorship. But they always censor shit. They always still censor black people. And it was only black people talking about the history. Anybody back then, they didn't really censor. Only censor black people talked about mundane things like our history. They would block our history. That's why we're a threat to the world. They wouldn't block anything back then except for black people. Remember, it was a joke that black people are always in Facebook jail for telling their history. Right? You always end up in Facebook jail. At that time, because Facebook was the big thing with a bunch of social media platforms back then. So whenever black people just talking about their history, they end up in Facebook jail. But like he said, this video dropped on Facebook. But go ahead, so let me go and say.
He had included like a screenshot of something that had made some type of reference to something really scandalous that Hillary Clinton was involved in. And if you know anything about Hillary Clinton, the Clinton administration years were just pitted with scandal after scandal. There was Travelgate. There was Whitewater. I mean, there were so many scandals that she was involved in. So, long story short, I clicked on the link. It took me to somewhere on Twitter. Once I clicked on the Twitter link, it took me to some web page that had like a file drop down. I clicked through and I found the video. The video opened. It was horrible. It was the worst one that I ever saw. I didn't even think it was real at the time. I thought it was fake just because of how it was like a snuff film.
It is a snuff film. How hideous, how disturbing. Yeah, how disturbing. See, Jeffrey Epstein files. See, 10 years ago, people wasn't ready for that when I was talking about that. Oh, you're crazy. But now it's on the Epstein files, and people are fucked up in the head. But see, they always ate us. That's the thing. Black people, they've always eaten us. That ain't nothing new. They've always tortured black people, cut off babies and smashed their heads against rocks and shit. All kind of evil, wicked shit. Right? But so then, people's minds couldn't really fathom the shit he's saying then. But now, 10 years later, it's all coming back out again. But the majority of people still don't know. Yeah, it's the regular person on the street. They don't know none of this shit still. That's why I brought it up to my goofy brother, really, right? I think it's going to take 2 years to filter, to get down to regular society globally, how heinous this is. But see, this validates now everything happened now because it's out there. We know they eating babies. We know they fucking them, and we know they drinking their blood. This is known now. No more allegedly shit. See, back then when we said that happened, you sounded like a conspiracy nut. So you know, there's a video with Hillary Clinton and Uber Aberdeen with a little baby girl, torching her ass, cutting her face off, cutting skin off her face, and then drinking her blood and shit, and then killing her. Like, you're crazy. Get away from me with that crazy shit. Get out of here. You sound crazy, right? And then we know that the New York police seen that tape, that video. All of them are dead today. This is another fact. Everybody from the New York police, remember, because they got that laptop, everybody seen that video, they're all dead. They're all dead. Every one of those police, because they remember they all left the room throwing up and crying. Because it's so, I seen that. I didn't see it on Facebook. I seen it on the dark web. That shit is so disturbing. It's so, it'll break your heart. Even if you're not careful white people, it just break. If you don't care about white people, it's a white girl they did it to. I don't think I could have handled if that was a little black girl. I know they do it to little black girls, but I don't think I could have handled seeing a little black girl done like that. I've probably been fucked. I've been fucked up in the head. I'm gonna keep it real, because that was some of the most wickedest evil as shit. And these are the people that run the planet. You don't realize how debaucherous, how evil, how wicked they are. Because most people's minds can't fathom it. You can't fathom. She's up there talking, well, I really wasn't in the Epstein files, and it was pretty mundane and blah, blah. So she gets to go, and all these motherfuckers question, no, all these motherfuckers got a copy of that tape of her torturing that kid, slitting her face off, drinking her blood.
Damn.
Go ahead, Joe, let me see this video.
I don't want to get in trouble on here, but it was bad. And I didn't think it was real until over the next couple of days.
But Job, I'm sorry, I can't put it on times 2. I don't see how I can do it. I know through the phone, but through a laptop, I don't know how to do it on TikTok.
That's all people were talking about was the video. And then as more information came out, things like Pizzagate and other things, and then, throughout the election, people like, I can't remember that attorney's name, Sydney something, but she made a press conference about it a few years after the video was released. And she said that the investigators who initially found the laptop and viewed the footage were physically sick. And I think there was like 9 or 10 investigators who saw the footage, and they're all unalived now. Right? All unalived. As is the case with most people who come into contact with anything that Hill Kill is involved with and has some type of nefarious intent. So that's it. That's all I know. That's what happened. Like I said, it was 2016.
Do you guys ever wonder why Hillary Clinton in those WikiLeaks emails was asking a few days before we invaded Iraq? She was trying to locate Gilgamesh's tomb. I don't know if you guys read the Epic of Gilgamesh. I certainly did when I was at university. Effectively, it has been long suspected that Gilgamesh was actually Nimrod in the Bible. Okay, so think of the Tower of Babel. We can build society. We're greater than God. Why would Hillary Clinton be looking for that tomb in Iraq? That's what Gilgamesh is featured in Iraq, present day Iraq. Yeah, okay, so you gotta wake up, guys. It's all real. They made you think that this was
has nothing to do with the Bible. So you got this goofy Candace Owens brought. So Gilgamesh would be what they come from and says that this is way before they, because they'll go with their goofy Bible. This is what the Bible was made out of afterwards. This thousands of years before the Bible. So this would be Nimrod, or really Gilgamesh, coming from the Anunnaki, Enlil, and Enki. See, this all this shit is real. And she's like, yeah, it's real. Nothing to do with no goofy Bible. So I'm gonna have Joby look up. So we know they got Gilgamesh's black ass. So these are only black people, right? So you got Gilgamesh. Suppose they found him in Iraq when we invaded Iraq in 2002, right? Saying that they found him. So I'm gonna have Joby pull it up on TikTok. Say the tomb of Gilgamesh. Right? I'm gonna pull that up on after she gets through talking. But yeah. So they're just saying that they found his tomb, Gilgamesh. This is way before your goofy Bibles. They put him in the back because that was the Africans telling the stories to the white people who got here 2 days ago. How was the world before they got here? That's how it ends up in your Bible. Remember, the Africans wrote the first book, the first Bible for the Greeks, called the Septuagint, right? To give some of these stories to the goofy white people who haven't been here in antiquity. They wanted to know what happened in the past. And so Gilgamesh is part of the Sumerian kings list dealing with the Anunnaki, dealing with Thoth. Remember Thoth? Thoth, which is Nigashita, Thoth. Enki, Enlil, remember Enki? Remember Enlil becomes Jehovah, Yahweh ass. These are the Anunnaki, right? And where you get the Yahweh story, who Enlil is not God. That's where the name came from. But any dumbass Christian can go back and find that out. That Enlil is Yahweh, Jehovah, who's not God of the universe. He's a fucking Anunnaki moron. As Quato Mutwa told you the same thing. He's Anunnaki. They're from a different planet. They're not gods, but they were more advanced than Africans as we met them here than we were at the time. But Jehovah and Yahweh is not no motherfucking God. But that's the deity they put in your dumbass Bible. You run around, Yahweh, Jehovah. That's Anunnaki. But y'all can go ahead and look, say look up Gilgamesh's tomb. Yeah.
What if I told you the United States government went looking for a mythological king right before 9/11? A king who was known to be the descendant of gods. Sounds insane.
They're not. See, they keep telling us the gods. They're not. The Anunnaki are not gods. That's how they become in your Bible. Remember, they become the Elohim, actually older, right? So the Anunnaki, when you read in your first part of your Bible, he said, "Let us make man in our own image." That's the Anunnaki talking about making the white man, these other people. Make them in our image. These other people, who we know the Anunnaki made these other people. Made these white people and these East Indians and Asians. The African was already here. It couldn't make us. That's why we got no animal genetics. So when you tell me, that's why it says, "Let us." In the Bible, it doesn't say one person. The Bible is a mythical understanding of earlier Sumerian text. Let me see this up. So, but and they made so that now they worship these guys as gods. They're not gods. Go ahead, Joby.
Conspiracy 101, where I teach you conspiracies in our reality that are both confirmed and contested. This is a part of Anunnaki Part 2, where we talk about.
Exactly. I told you go to the Anunnaki. Yeah, which remember they don't want the Anunnaki behind the scenes can still control this planet. These are the wicked motherfuckers who came here. They still control behind the scenes. They're linked in with the demiurge. Okay? So they're just vibrating in another dimension that you can't see them. Like I told you, they can go back and forth from the 5th to the 3rd dimension. Those motherfuckers are still running around here. Behind the scenes. That you cannot see them because you can't see into the 5th dimension. They can't go no higher than that because the motherfuckers have done atrocities. They're wicked. They came and set themselves as gods, but they're not a god. They're just a little more advanced than you are right now. That's where your goofy Bible comes from, your goofy Quran. All that shit comes from them. From the Anunnaki having you worship these motherfuckers. Okay? That's where you're eating, Eridu. It's all the Anunnaki text. But since they control everything, they try to tell you that, oh, this is mythology, so you don't know anything about them. Oh, this is all made up, this mythology. But when you know it's not made up, that's why you got the pyramids all over the place. That's why they were sacrificing shit all over the place.
And who was 1/3 human, 2/3 God.
2/3 their genetics. But you see that Gilgamesh is black because there wasn't no other people on the planet. So you know the Anunnaki motherfuckers, like I told you, are black. So I told you all the fake white aliens they show you. Here's the white aliens, these white people. There are no white aliens. That's some shit they make up in their minds. So that's why Gilgamesh is black. That's why the Anunnaki are black. Because people in the universe are black. Because you can't leave this planet without melanin. You can't travel the universe without melanin. Get that? That's why they're dying out now. Because of lack of melanin. Can't leave this fucking planet. I've already told you when they go into space, what happened? Their bones start to break the fuck apart. Black people go into space, what? You get stronger, especially the black woman. Your bones and minerals get stronger because you are the universe itself. They started to fucking disintegrate. But go ahead, Joby.
One of the oldest pieces of literature that the human history has to refer back to, older than the Bible. Gilgamesh's goes all the way
exactly. Pause it. Yes, older than the Bible. All these stories have nothing to do with the Bible. The Bible was were stories that the commissions were teaching the Greeks because white people didn't exist. So they're writing these books. It became what you call your first books of your Bibles. It's called the Septuagint. Because white people say, well, where's time start? What happened before we got here? Blah, blah. Remember, all these other people are new to the planet. They're new. That's why Gilgamesh and all this shit, there'll be only black people on this planet. So when they say, was it black people everywhere on the planet. This is a black planet. All these other races are new. You understand that? New. So whenever they go digging up shit, oh, let me dig over here, dig up this ancient times, it's always going to be black. That's why Gilgamesh is black. Go ahead, Jobin.
700 BC, where he, in the Sumerian king list, was listed as the king of Uruk, aka modern day Iraq. Now, why is Gilgamesh considered to be 2/3 god, 1/3 human? Well, his mother was recorded to be Ninsum, who was a goddess, and she had a child with a human king. And that is how we got the hybrid Anunnaki of Gilgamesh.
So when they mean a human king, that means another African. Remember, none of these people existed. So his mama had relations with what we call African. That was only that was here. Okay, he had this African from another damn solar system and another dimension have sex with this African here and created Gilgamesh. Had Gilgamesh and had Gilgamesh punk ass. Okay, how was that? You know, they didn't start making the white people till later, as they tell you. Go ahead, Jobin.
Talk a lot about how he's a tyrant and he's not a great guy, but they also talk about how he has superhuman strength, he has knowledge passed down from the gods, and amazing longevity as just one giant human. And after a good friend of his, Enkidu, dies, he becomes obsessed with one thing and one thing only, and that thing is immortality. So he goes searching. What Gilgamesh is specifically looking for is a man named Utnapishtim, and he was granted eternal life by the gods for surviving the Great Flood, which we kind of touched upon before. It's the same Great Flood that Noah is referenced in the Bible. And this is where it gets super spicy, okay? This is where the ancient text meets modern history. In early 2001, the United States made it very clear they were going to Iraq to look for weapons of mass destruction. But unofficially, whistleblowers and tons of other people involved in these operations have come out and said that they weren't just going to Iraq for weapons of mass destruction. They were looking for ancient Sumerian artifacts, ancient Sumerian tablets, and any single thing that pertained to that era of ancient Sumeria. And more particularly, they were looking for Gilgamesh's tomb. I mean, they quite literally put the fucking base right on top of where it was supposed to be. Why is Gilgamesh so important to all of these people? I mean, he was a tyrant. He was kind of a dick. The people didn't like him. They prayed to the gods to rescue them from him. But there is a lot more to this story. If Gilgamesh was a descendant from the gods or the Anunnaki, they were looking for his DNA. And it wasn't just to prove that maybe someone was immortal or maybe that someone could be a giant. It was to prove that they had DNA evidence of gods. This is where people get really uncomfortable talking about the truth of what happened in Iraq. They went there in early 2001, and of course, war broke out, chaos broke out.
See, pauses. They get uncomfortable because you've been told lies about how the world, you've been told religious lies about the fake Jesus, you've been told religious lies about the fake Allah. So most people live in a shell the whole life of lies. So when any information comes out, it destroys their worldview. That's what you're dealing with, a destruction of their worldview, especially for white people. You know, it's bad enough that they know they're the youngest people on the planet. They're not the old. As we said, how can somebody white, Adam and Eve, and make somebody black? Well, they can't. It's a lie. So that's why everybody feels discomforted. And let me say this: the elite know all this. The elite know that they're created. And they know they create the house demons. That's what all these rituals are about. When they fucking kids and drinking the blood, that's to make sure they can line up vibrationally with entities of a lower dimension. That's the reason for all the blood drinking. That's the reason why you got the damn Christian church talking about drinking somebody's fucking blood. Drinking the blood of Christ. You ain't supposed to be drinking no fucking blood. You that goddamn stupid? You don't know you're supposed to be drinking nobody's blood? This is somebody supposedly dead. You drink my blood, the blood of my blood. You ain't supposed to be drinking no fucking body's blood. You think you have common sense? No, that's some low vibrational shit. You ain't supposed to be drinking nobody's damn blood. Ever. But we've been so dumbed down, so propagandized to in this world. We don't even, we can't even put two and two together. You know? They're like not to go off track like I was saying years ago with that fake moon landing, right? America went to the moon. I used to argue, again, use my silly brother again. I said, ain't nobody went to no moon, man. Any time it was before we were even born. It was on the news again, right? That's okay. I just want I'm using this as just a caveat, guys. Listen, I'm gonna use this as a caveat, right? I'm using this as a caveat. Common sense. Now, we know back in 1969, we barely could make international phone calls from America to Africa, America to just England. So how were they making a phone call in real time from the White House to the moon? What form of communication technology did they use? Remember, it didn't have no lag time, right? Because even me and Joey sometime on StreamYard, her being Africa and I'm being America, we had some lag time sometime. But back then, there's no lag. What? It was no cell phones. So they didn't use no damn cellular towers and none of that. No damn satellites. So how did we do a phone call on a rotary phone from the White House to the moon? Just something to think about. Something to make you say, yeah, that does sound crazy. That everything we believe is a lie. We ain't went to no fucking moon. Talking about they call it, hey Neil, this is President Nixon. Hey, President Nixon. Yeah, you and Buzz are the first men up there on the moon. Yeah, we're the first people on the moon. What? What? You can't even get a good phone call to the Congo today. And call somebody on the moon? In 1969? I can't even get a good cell phone call to the Congo. But I'm calling somebody on the moon. And the reception is clear. It ain't choppy. It ain't, I can barely hear you. Hello, Joby, you there? Joby, you're breaking up. No, it's, hello, Neil. This is President Nixon. You boys have made it to the moon? Yes, Mr. President. Hey, what are they Just common sense shit. Ain't nobody been to the moon. Now, not from this planet. Anunnaki, yeah, but not us. Common sense shit. You got a rotary phone. 1969. You can't even make a good call to England and have it be clear back in 69. But you call on way to the moon. What technology on a rotary phone? Now we so damn young. We don't even remember what rotary phones are no more. No more. You got to dial up. Got to turn that. Joby probably never. But Joby in Africa, she might have seen one because Africa's like. Joby, you ever seen a rotary phone?
What's that?
See, you know what? You don't know what the hell that even is.
Spell it. A what? Spell it. Let me see. Maybe I've seen it.
A rotary phone. R-O-T. Rotary. A rotary phone, Joby. Joby said, what's that? Joby said, what's that?
I have seen them, but we don't.
What is that? What's a rotary phone, damn it?
Yeah, they're only for decoration in the house. Nobody uses this. They're only for decoration. But let me go on.
Ultimately see at first was that museums were looted, artifacts were taken with literal military precision. it could have only been them doing this. Historians from around the world and from that area have confirmed that thousands of artifacts became missing from Iraq around that time, and they have never, ever resurfaced. Ultimately, the theory here is not that they wanted to prove that there was half gods that exist. They wanted to be the first people with their hands on his DNA. If you have control of that DNA, you can either put it on blast, you can put it in a museum, you can study it, or you can never let it see the light of day. Think about it. Gilgamesh, a human hybrid, could be the first proof that has been documented historically that the origins of humankind are different than we really
Have you look it up, Joe, in a minute?
Whether you believe
Put on Google images, say images of a rotary phone. Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, I'm
Put
saying
it up,
I've seen.
see what it is, Joe. Images of a. Have you ever seen a phone like this? Images of a rotary phone.
I'm saying I've seen
Yeah,
it,
there you
but
go. Yeah, right there, Joe. Yeah. Go to images.
we don't use
Yeah,
it.
you ever seen a phone like that?
I've seen it, but we don't use it. They're only for decoration in the house.
So Joe been
Your voice is.
Joey Africa, because Joey used to look at goddamn black and white TVs. I ain't seen a black and white TV ever. So this is the kind of phone, Joey, they use to call the moon.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is the kind of phone they use to call the moon, Joey.
Yeah, I'm saying that's very interesting. Very interesting. Very.
It's a lie. It ain't interesting. Anybody use no phone like this to call no moon.
Exactly. That's the sarcasm in it. I mean, it's very interesting. Now, people, they think people are stupid or what?
Go back to your video, Joe. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick filmed it. Exactly right. Exactly right. Sonic Domo. Exactly. Go ahead, Jim. Go back to the video. Give me a second.
The video you shared is not available on TikTok. The first one, I think it's been
Go to the first video. After you get done playing this, Joe, you go to the first video I sent you. The very first.
Yeah, I'm saying it's been deleted on TikTok. It's not there. It's blank.
Yeah, you can finish this one now. Go ahead.
It's blank. Sound? Can't see any sound, Jabba Jabba. Let me see. Let me unshare, then reshare it again. Just a minute.
You mean to tell me this whole time they've been lying and playing in our faces? Now I'm starting to see the reason why they go to these different countries. They bully these people because they
Can you hear it? I hope you guys can hear it now. It should be playing, but let me check on my.
Going to find ancient technology, weapons of mass destruction. They have to tell you a lie so they could go bully these people out of stuff that they found from the ancient gods. Now, I don't know if y'all familiar with Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was a demigod. He was sometime before BC, he was a king. He was like 17 feet tall. Back in 2003, y'all know they found his tomb where his body was still intact. Yes, still intact. The gold, the tablets, the jewelry, everything was still on him. So y'all gotta know it had to be a race of time so they could find him to get what was on him. And whatever it is, they got it. Yo, I'll be back with part 2. Y'all type part 2 in the comments because I like to look more into information like this. Whatever I can find, I'm going to research it. I'm going to look more into it. And I come inform y'all and let y'all know what's going on. Now, he was considered a Nephilim. A Nephilim was, they was tall, y'all. They said they was like 20 feet tall, 17 feet tall. But they started mixing with humans. And when they started combining their DNA with humans, that's the shorter, they started getting. But y'all, I'll be back with part 2. Y'all like, share, comment, and repost. And TikTok, this is all for entertainment purpose. I'm only on here to bring awareness to my friends for educational purposes only.
She's talking like niche. She has that niche accent.
I'm going to call y'all back on FaceTime. Pick up the phone.
This is Gilgamesh. This is his tomb that was discovered in 2003 by a German archaeologist named Jorg Fassenbinder. Now, what's interesting is once this was posted, immediately the next day, the U.S. government was all on it. It was blocked off. They took everything from the tomb. And now all we have is speculations. Now, what do we know about Gilgamesh? Well, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, it is described that he is a Nephilim or a giant, which is the offspring of angels and women. There were angels that came down in the extra biblical text of Enoch and in Genesis chapter 6 that says the sons of God saw the daughters that they were fair, came down, made wives unto them, and there were giants born from their union. And this was heroes of renown and giants in those days. Now, one thing you need to know, giants were not friendly. They were very evil. And God said he saw that the hearts of man were evil continually, and said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for they are flesh. And afterwards there was a flood. So there was great wickedness in the earth because of this union with these angels and women and these hybrid demons called giants. Gilgamesh was one of those giants. In fact, in his epic, it was so bad that when women would get married because he was a king, he had to have the spouse first. And it was a proverb that said, instead of celebration, the city would be in mourning every time somebody got married. Gilgamesh also wanted to be immortal. This is exactly what the giants wanted to do. They wanted to live forever as gods. But God decided in his all-powerful wisdom to wipe them out. So Gilgamesh's tomb being discovered by the United States government is no coincidence. There could be technology. There could be lots of different things that they could find. And when you see this, what does this mean? If giants are real, the Bible is real. If the Bible is real, Jesus is real, the devil is real.
Trying to make the Bible,
is eternal salvation.
Before the Bible, they think more always want to make the connection. They're smart enough.
Something is wrong with your voice. Something is wrong with your sound.
This is way before the Bible.
Something is wrong with your sound. We can hear you, but from afar. From afar.
Coincidence?
Does anybody remember
No.
back in 2003
Not yet.
when the BBC reported on Gilgamesh's tomb being found? So there was this guy named Jorg Fassenbinder.
Okay, so let me go through the comments very quickly as we continue. Then I'm gonna cue the other videos. Shout out to everyone with us on the chat. 10 Speed, Jibba Jabba, Jason, Danny, and shout out to everyone with us on the chat. I see Danny earlier was saying, I believe Clinton Rockefeller was the result of those breeding forms breeding farms started by the Odd Fellows, the Odd Fellow Society. And I also see 10 Speed says they were ordering us, give me a Kenyan rib, Nigerian heart, Black American nuts, lol, with hot sauce. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, when Keith is talking about they were eating us and all that, it's crazy. Jason says, and they were looking for Stargates too. Also, Jibajaba adding that Bush Jr., George and Magog, if I'm pronouncing correctly, he referenced that as a justification of the Second Iraq War. He also, Danny, that is Dirty Black America, welcome back, says back in the 1970s, you could be online at times with 10 people talking to mom. And 10 Speed says, so Keith, when I was speaking in tongues, what was that? And Jiba Jabba says the common American is a moron. It is frustrating.
That was you being crazy. That's what that was.
Yeah, something is wrong with your sound, Keith. Check your sound. We can hear you, but you're talking from. Okay, we're talking but from afar. I saw Sonic Domo. Welcome, nice to see you. Says Stanley Kubrick filmed moon landing in a movie studio in a desert. And I also see Jibajaba says, I wonder if the NBAs are required to give up DNA to be in the league, especially the tall ones. That's a good question, literally. Jibajaba also says, reboot that Obama phone. I know, that's right. Joe Mosquito Karibu Sana. Jason says some of them folks were 20 feet and 40 feet. I think the high priests were a dab bigger than the woman. All right. But yeah, I'm going to cue the videos. Let me cue the videos Keith shared with me, and then see if I can share the video I wanted to share today too. Let me cue this one. The first one refused. I think the first one has been deleted already on TikTok. So let me share this one. Okay.
The funny thing is to me that BBC have always played in black people's faces, but they were British black people, and we don't really have the numbers in the UK. There's only, we're like 2%, 3% of the country. There's not a lot of us, and we're not really that joint in standing on business. We're not very, as British people, we're more keep calm and carry on. We'll complain, but we won't stand on business. Whereas black Americans stand on business. And now that the BAFTAs have caused a fuss with black Americans, oh, they're not.
Anyway, I saw this video. I really do, because she blocked me because I told her the truth. Okay, I was trying to explain to her nicely, right, about Black America and Black culture, right? She just blocked me because she didn't like the truth. Okay, so here she is now on this thing with the BAFTA and the BBC. Okay, and she's talking about how because Black British don't have the numbers, they don't stand on business like Black Americans stand on business. Well, that's a part of our culture. We stand on business. See the difference? See, that's another difference. But let me go to this other point, right? Where she said that, you know, Black British, they don't stand on business, you know. Well, let me back up though, because they always have something to say. They have a lot to say, just like she had a lot to say when it comes to Black Americans. Oh,
how about now, Joe?
Down.
Much better. Sorry.
Now the one I wanted to play, they've already deleted. That's the main one. And you know what? They disconnect one of this.
Sorry.
Hey, what you doing? So the main one that was talking about the is not real people, and showing how they're involved with everything throughout Africa, all of it in Africa, all in Mexico, all over the world. So the dude connecting the dots really, really good. I said, yep, that's it. That's already taken down. Remember, because they own the app. They own this app. So there's another new app I'm gonna be going to, guys. It's called Favorite It. It's about another new app. We see how long it lasts. called favored it, so I'm gonna try to start going over there and see what happens.
Yeah,
But
it's not in Kenya yet, so.
I'm not in Kenya yet, but it's coming. Go ahead, Joey.
The funny thing is that BBC have always played in black people's faces, but they were British black people, and we don't really have the numbers in the UK. There's only, we're like 2%, 3% of the country. There's not a lot of us, and
Not a lot of us here either. But we're not gonna let nobody play in our face.
as British people, we're more keep calm and carry on. We'll complain, but we won't stand on business. Whereas black Americans stand on business. And now that the BAFTAs, of course,
See, her video is the one I was trying to find for Joby, but now I found this one with the other girl talking about it. I was trying to find her video right there, the original one, not the one with this lady's commentary on it, but trying to find the original one. This is what I was trying to give Joby Wednesday. I couldn't find it, but now I found this one. Go ahead, Joby.
black Americans, they're not.
Anyway, I saw this video. I really do, because she blocked me because I told her the truth. Okay, I was trying to explain to her nicely, right, about Black America and Black culture, right? She just blocked me because she didn't like the truth. Okay, so here she is now on this thing with the BAFTA and the BBC. Okay, and she's talking about how because Black British don't have the numbers, they don't stand on business like Black Americans stand on business. Well, that's a part of our culture. We stand on business. See the difference? See, that's another difference. But let me go to this other point, right? Where she said that, Black British, they don't stand on business, Well, let me back up though, because they always have something to say. They have a lot to say, just like she had a lot to say when it comes to Black Americans. Oh, they will critique us down, honey. Okay, but when it comes down to the British, it's silent. Where's all the fight at? And see, that's the thing. Oh, they have so much to say. They have whole podcasts. They have all the things to say, dragging Black Americans through the mud, honey. Oh, they know how to do that. They know how to do that real good with their 2%. Okay. So where's that same 2%? Dragging the BBC. But they're not. They're not. That's what. Where is that? Where is that? See, it's not there. They put their fight against Black America. They don't want to fight against the British and tell the British when to sit down. Yeah, so just watch. Wait and see. I'd be shocked when I come in my comments. Just be talking trash, save all that, and they misdirected energy. They direct their energy to the wrong people. They direct it to the wrong people. They can direct it since that's since they say that's their home and everything. So then that's what they need to do. They need to take control of the situations when it happens over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we get what you're saying. Yeah. Let me share this other one. This is the third.
Okay, guys, 911, because there is some crazy shit going on out here. Okay, number one, Walmart has had to take all of their meat off the shelf. Anything that's meat.
Okay, my internet.
Related, they've had to take it off the shelf, and word is the reason they have to take it off the shelf is because of human meat. Plus, there has been some sort of situation at McDonald's that I think people are thinking. I mean, I think that like McDonald's is coming under fire for being like. I think they have like contracts with hospitals and stuff. This woman, she went into McDonald's to get something because she was on the road. she goes into McDonald's, and she said she walked to McDonald's and was doing like the interview kind of thing, and they did this interview deal with her, and they was asking like the weirdest questions. Like they were asking her if she got the COVID shot. They were asking her if she was an organ donor. Okay. And so she got done with that, and she was talking to her mom, and she was like, well, I'm gonna go to use the restroom. She was at McDonald's. She's like, I'm gonna go use the restroom, and I will be getting on the road. She had like 35 miles she had to go, right? Okay, well, she goes to the bathroom, she washes her hands, everything goes black in McDonald's bathroom. The next thing she knows, she's hearing a cop car, and she's in like Oklahoma, okay, in the back of like a meat processing truck, a meat truck heading somewhere to a meat packing plant that puts together the meat that goes to McDonald's, okay? So, y'all, what? Like, number one, I will not be going into no McDonald's bathroom. Matter of fact, I don't even go to McDonald's, and I'm going to be sure I don't ever go back to McDonald's. If I go around in that, it's going to be in a drive-thru for ice cream. That's it, if the machine's up. But the bottom line is, y'all, we really have got to be careful, because this is not the first incident, okay? So right now, McDonald's and Walmart are both under fire. And as far as I'm concerned, I just don't want to eat anything right now. I would rather just you can't trust anything right now. So do your homework, pay attention to what's going on in the world, y'all, because between the PEDOs and the TUNNLES and McDonald's and Walmart, there's other instances, there's other places that people are now complaining about and now saying, oh, that was so odd. So not too long ago, I told y'all, it's been about 4 months ago, I told you just stop going to Walmart, Bo. I told you they have nuclear radioactive shrimp, okay? They are not supposed to be getting anything from Venezuela due to the tariffs, okay? But they were still getting their meat from, okay? So, bully for you, Walmart. Personally, I hope you get closed down, because ever since you've been part of anything, nobody stood a chance. Probably because you're like corner marketing all the bad stuff in the world. So you're just as rotten as anybody else. Trust me, I will not be doing Walmart, and I will not be doing McDonald's. Maybe that's why BK.
You're gonna find the bottom and the lower jaw. Be careful, God damn it.
All of them went out of business because they're not BK is pretty much out. Do you think we all crave human meat? Drop your comment below. And one more question: do you think you've ever eaten human meat?
Nah, I don't think so. And I don't want to think about it. I don't even want to fathom. But we eat real meat here. I feel pity for you guys in the States. You guys, food again is really, really crazy. But I think I'm gonna switch that and then share this video. There's a video I wanted to share which talks about the human cycle and the seventh civilization. So allow me to cue this, and then maybe we can wrap up with this as a topic.
What if I told you humanity isn't living its first civilization? It's living its seventh. And the strange feeling you sometimes get, that quiet sense that something about our history doesn't add up, isn't imagination. It's a system inside you trying to turn back on. Not your memory, not your intuition, something older. In 2022, a group of researchers studying developmental neurobiology noticed something unusual. They found a circuit in the human brain that's active in early childhood, highly active, and then abruptly shuts down around age 7. Not gradually, not randomly, abruptly. When they compared this pattern across cultures, continents, and populations, they realized something even stranger. Children around the world share the same shutdown signal at the same age, as if something ancient and biological is being switched off on purpose. They didn't have a name for it, so they called it the ancestral encoding circuit. Because when it's active, humans demonstrate abilities we don't have reliable explanations for. Pattern recognition beyond learned experience, spatial memory for places they've never visited, and heightened sensitivity to symbols, geometry, and ruins. And here's where the research gets uncomfortable. A small percentage of adults, less than 1%, still show faint activity in this circuit. These adults report feeling out of place in time, having déjà vu in ancient sites, or dreaming of structures that match real archaeological layouts they've never seen. The press didn't cover the study. Institutions buried it. Because if this circuit truly contains encoded memory from civilizations before ours, it means our timeline isn't the full story. It means humans aren't just learning from the past, we're carrying it biologically. Ancient cultures hinted at this. The Egyptians encoded it in their initiation temples. Vedic texts describe cycles of civilizations rising and falling. Mesoamerican myths reference previous worlds destroyed and reborn. Different continents, same story. And here's the part no one wants to explain. If 6 civilizations came before us, and they encoded a survival mechanism into their descendants, then every human alive today should have access to it. But most don't, because the circuit is dormant. By the time this ends, you'll know where that circuit lives, why it was suppressed, and how to activate it again, not through belief, not through meditation, but biologically. And if you're still here, it's not an accident. Your system is already responding. Let's begin. All right, let's get clear on something right now, because this is where most people check out, and I need you to stay with me. When I say civilization code, I'm not talking about metaphors. I'm not talking about vibe shifts or positive thinking or some new age fluff you pin on a vision board. I'm talking about an actual psycho-spiritual circuit, a biological, energetic, ancestral mechanism that exists in your nervous system right now. It's been there your whole life, dormant for most people, activated in a few, and it controls everything that matters. Here's what the code controls. 1, your awakening instinct. That pull you feel toward hidden knowledge, toward the stuff they don't teach, toward ancient ruins, forgotten symbols, mysteries that make no logical sense, but feel true in your bones. You ever meet someone who just knows things, who seems to have this primal wisdom that doesn't come from books? That's not luck, that's not genetics, that's an activated code. 2, ancestral memory recall. Those moments where you know something you never learned, where you see a place you've never been and recognize it, where you dream in symbols that feel older than your own life. Let me give you an example. A woman in one of my communities had never studied ancient Egypt, never read a book about it, never watched a documentary. But one night she has this dream, vivid, detailed, visceral, of standing inside a temple, performing a ritual with water and light. She wakes up, draws what she saw, and later discovers it matches an actual ceremony from the Temple of Dendara, down to the hand positions. Coincidence? Not even close. That's cellular memory surfacing. 3, intuition precision, not guessing, not hoping. That instant body-level knowing that says yes or no before your brain can catch up. That thing that saved your life more times than you realize. You know that feeling when you're about to get in a car or take a job or trust someone, and something in your gut screams no, and you ignore it because it's not logical. And later you find out you just avoided disaster. That's not luck. That's your code protecting you. 4, pattern recognition. The ability to see what's repeating, to sense when the cycle is turning, to detect truth from distortion even when everyone around you is buying the lie. Right now, if you're paying attention, you're seeing patterns everywhere. In how governments respond to crises, in how media shapes narratives, in how economic systems collapse in predictable ways. You're seeing the same plays run over and over, just with different names and dates. Most people don't see it. They think each crisis is new, shocking, unprecedented. But you see the pattern. You know we've been here before. That's code activation. 5. Spiritual resilience under chaos. When the world falls apart, and it will, some people collapse, others adapt. The difference? The code. Think about it. When COVID hit, when the world locked down, when everything changed overnight, some people fell apart. Anxiety, depression, paralysis, but others, they adapted. They stayed calm. They found new ways. They didn't panic because somewhere deep inside, they'd survived worse before. Not in this lifetime. But the coding remembers. The civilization code is your inheritance, not from your parents, not from your culture, from the survivors of 6 previous worlds. Now here's where this gets real. You already know if your code is active or dormant. You don't need me to tell you. You can feel it. People with the civilization code. Active. Feel constantly pulled by something ancient, something they can't name but can't ignore. Sense that timelines are collapsing, that we're running out of time, that something major is approaching. Experience accelerated intuition. They just know things before they happen, before anyone announces them. Have spontaneous, symbolic dreams that feel more real than waking life. Dreams of water, of falling structures, of migrations. Are naturally drawn to megaliths, ruins, ancient sites they feel called there, like a magnetic pull they can't explain. Can't shake the feeling that history is a lie, that something massive has been hidden, erased, rewritten. Feel like an old soul trapped in a modern nightmare, like they were born in the wrong era. Experience déjà vu constantly, not just in places, but in entire situations, conversations, world events. Find themselves saying, I've seen this before, even when they logically haven't. Feel homesick for places they've never been. People with the code dormant. Live entirely inside modern illusions. Netflix, news cycles, social media loops, the daily grind. Believe history started 12,000 years ago with Mesopotamia. Nothing before. Humans were primitive cavemen. Cannot see patterns repeating. Each crisis feels brand new, shocking, unprecedented. Fear the unknown more than anything. Cling to authority, experts, official stories for safety. Feel safe only when they're told what to think, what to do, what to believe by approved sources. Never question the timeline, the narrative, the system. It's all just accepted as truth. Think people like you are crazy, conspiracy theorists, dangerous for asking questions. Have no sense of ancestral connection. They're just individuals floating in time. Can't imagine the world being different than it is now. Believe technology and progress are linear, that we're the peak of human development. And here's the brutal part. If your code is dormant, you don't even know it. You think you're fine. You think you're awake. You think watching YouTube videos about ancient aliens means you're enlightened. But activation isn't about knowing things. It's about becoming something. It's a frequency shift, a nervous system upgrade, a cellular remembering that changes how you move through the world. And the wild part, this isn't woo-woo. Science is catching up. Let me show you the evidence. Epigenetic memory loops. Your DNA doesn't just carry genetic instructions. It carries emotional imprints, trauma, survival patterns, instincts passed down through generations. There's a famous study done
Kit, are you still there? I don't know if Kit is still with us or already left.
at Emory University. Researchers trained mice to fear the smell of cherry blossom,
I'm still, Joby. Go ahead.
pairing it with electric shocks. Then they bred those mice. The offspring, who never experienced the shocks, were also afraid of cherry blossoms. So were their offspring, for generations. The memory of trauma was encoded in their DNA and passed down. When your great-great-great ancestors survived a flood, a famine, a collapse, your body remembers. Not consciously, cellularly. That's why some people have an irrational fear of water even though they've never drowned. That's why some people hoard food, even though they've never starved. That's why some people can't trust authority, even though they've never been betrayed. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Instinctive pattern detection networks. Your brain has ancient circuits designed to detect danger, recognize cycles, sense shifts in the environment before they happen. This isn't magic. This is evolution. The people who sensed the flood coming survived. The ones who didn't. The people who recognized the pattern of drought, famine, collapse survived. The ones who didn't. You carry those survivor genes, those pattern recognition circuits. You just have to reactivate them. The pineal limbic orientation system, your pineal gland, the third eye they mock in mainstream science, is a magnetite-rich, light-sensitive organ connected directly to your emotional brain. It responds to Earth's magnetic field. It responds to celestial cycles. It responds to shifts in consciousness that your rational brain can't process. Ancient cultures knew this. They activated it through ritual, fasting, breath work, sensory deprivation, meditation, plant medicines. Modern humans, they calcify it with fluoride, blue light, constant distraction, artificial rhythms, electromagnetic pollution, and never being in darkness. That's not an accident. That's by design, because a person with an active pineal gland can't be easily controlled. They see through lies, they sense manipulation, they know truth from distortion. Subconscious myth memory archive. Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious. Joseph Campbell called it the monomyth. Ancient shamans called it the dreamtime. Different names, same truth. There's a library of symbolic memory stored below your conscious awareness. Archetypes, patterns, stories that appear in every culture across every continent, even though these cultures never contacted each other. The flood myth, the dying and resurrecting God, the world tree, the cosmic egg, the divine feminine, the hero's journey. Why do these same stories appear everywhere? Because they're not stories. They're memories. Memories of what actually happened. Memories encoded in our collective DNA. Memories passed down through the survivors. And when you access this archive, you don't learn, you remember. Survivor coding carried through bottlenecks. Every time civilization collapsed, and it has repeatedly, the survivors carried specific traits. Not just physical strength, psychological resilience, spiritual adaptability. The ability to let go of the old world and build in the new. Geneticists call these bottleneck events. Moments when the human population crashed to nearly nothing, and only the most resilient survived. And those survivors, they passed down their traits, their instincts, their code. That coding is in you, right now, waiting. Here's what they don't tell you. The civilization code doesn't activate through study. It doesn't activate through belief. It activates through recognition. The moment you recognize the pattern, the moment you see that we've been here before, that this has all happened before, that you've been here before, something clicks. Your nervous system shifts. Your perception expands. Your DNA starts expressing dormant genes, and you stop living like a citizen of 2025. You start living like a descendant of 6 forgotten worlds who knows exactly what's coming and exactly what to do. Now let me show you something that will blow your mind. Do you know what the half-life of a civilization is? About 336 years. That's the average time a civilization maintains its peak before decline begins. Rome peaked around 300 years. The British Empire, about 300 years. Every major civilization follows the same pattern. And the United States, founded 1776. We're at 249 years. We're right on schedule. But here's the deeper pattern. Major civilizational collapses happen in cycles of approximately 12,000 to 13,000 years. The last major one, around 12,800 years ago. The Younger Dryas, a global cataclysm that wiped out megafauna, collapsed ice sheets, caused worldwide flooding, and reset human civilization. Before that, another cycle, and another, and another. 6 times. And we're due. Not in 1,000 years. Not in your grandchildren's lifetime. We're in the window right now. And if you can feel it, if you've been feeling that tension, that acceleration, that sense that time is running out, it's because your code is activating. Your body knows something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. So let me ask you directly. Do you feel it? That pull? That knowing? That sense that you're not supposed to be here in this time, living this way, accepting this version of reality? Do you feel like you're remembering something instead of learning something? Do you feel like you've been preparing for something your whole life without knowing what it was? If yes, keep watching. If no, you're in the wrong place, because what's coming next isn't for everyone. It's only for the ones who are ready to stop pretending, the ones who are ready to activate, the ones who know deep down that they're here for a reason, and that reason is about to become clear. Let's talk about why you never heard any of this in school, why your history teacher never mentioned the 6 civilizations before ours, why archaeology ignores sites that don't fit the timeline, why you were taught that humans were hunter-gatherers until 10,000 BC, then suddenly, boom, agriculture, cities, pyramids. Here's the truth. Modern education wasn't built to teach you the truth. It was built to teach you compliance. Think about it. What did school actually train you for? Sit still for hours. Don't question authority figures. Memorize what you're told without understanding why. Repeat it back on a test exactly as given. Get a grade that determines your worth. Get a job that determines your identity. Pay taxes that fund the system. Don't make waves. Don't ask questions. Don't challenge the narrative. That's not education. That's domestication. And it's by design. Because the moment you activate the civilization code, the moment you start remembering, seeing patterns, questioning the official story, you become dangerous. Not violent, not crazy. Dangerous to the system. Because you stop depending on it. You stop needing their approvals, their institutions, their experts to tell you what's real. You start trusting your own knowing, your own instincts, your own ancestral memory. And that terrifies them. Let me show you what school optimized for. Single worldview thinking. There's only one right answer, only one accepted timeline, only one version of history. Any deviation? You're a conspiracy theorist. You're uneducated. You're dangerous. They teach you that the pyramids were built by Pharaoh Khufu in 2560 BC using copper tools and wooden ramps. That's it. That's the story. But ask why there's no soot on the ceiling of the king's chamber if they use torches. Ask how they cut granite with copper. Ask why the precision matches modern CNC machining. Ask why the blocks fit together so tightly you can't fit a piece of paper between them. And suddenly you're the problem. Social compliance. Don't stand out. Don't challenge the teacher. Don't question the textbook. Fit in. Blend in. Survive by conforming. I remember in school, I asked my history teacher about Göbekli Tepe, a site in Turkey with massive stone pillars arranged in circles, carved with detailed reliefs of animals, dated to 9,600 BC. 9,600 BC. That's before agriculture, before cities, before anything in the official timeline. You know what my teacher said? That's not in the curriculum. Not, I don't know. Not, let's research it together. That's not in the curriculum. Translation. Don't ask questions that don't have approved answers. Fear of looking irrational. The worst thing you can be in modern society? Irrational, emotional, intuitive, mystical. So you learn to suppress those things. You learn to only trust logic, which is just another word for accepted narrative. You have a gut feeling about something. Doesn't matter. Where's the peer-reviewed study? You sense a pattern forming. Doesn't matter. Where's the data? You know something in your bones? Doesn't matter. That's not how we do things here. And so you disconnect from the most powerful intelligence you have, your body's knowing. Identity dependent on authority narratives. Who are you? You're a citizen, a taxpayer, a consumer, a voter. Your identity is entirely built on systems outside yourself. You're defined by your job, your degree, your credit score, your social media following, your political affiliation. Remove those systems, and most people have no idea who they are. They've never asked, who am I beneath all these labels? What am I carrying that's older than these structures? What's my real identity? Because that question is dangerous. That question leads to, I'm not who they told me I am. I'm something older, something deeper, something they can't control. But here's what activates the civilization code. Questioning official timelines. Noticing forbidden archaeology, sites that predate accepted history and shouldn't exist. Detecting patterns across myths from cultures that never contacted each other. Feeling ancestral pull toward older ages, older ways, older truths. Allowing yourself to remember instead of believe. See the conflict? The system can't allow that, because if you remember, you don't need them. Now let's get specific about why institutions suppress this. Industrial era design. The entire school system was built during the Industrial Revolution to create factory workers. Obedient, punctual, replaceable. The bell rings, you move. The bell rings, you stop. You do what you're told. You don't ask why. It was never designed to create free thinkers, mystics, pattern recognizers, or ancestral warriors. It was designed to create workers who wouldn't question the system. And it worked. Political stability. Governments need citizens who believe in the current system, who believe this is the only way, who believe we're at the peak of human development and nothing better has ever existed. If people realized we're actually in a decline from previous heights, if they realized we used to be more advanced, more conscious, more connected, if they realized collapse is inevitable and cyclical, that this has all happened before and will happen again, the system loses its power. Why would you sacrifice for a 401k that might not exist in 10 years? Why would you work 40 years for a pension when the currency might collapse? Why would you trust governments when you realize every empire falls? You wouldn't. And that's the threat. Academic protectionism. Universities control knowledge. They decide what's real and what's fringe. They decide who gets funding, who gets published, who gets tenure. And anyone who challenges the timeline, they get blacklisted. Not because they're wrong, because they're threatening. There's a geologist named Dr. Robert Schoch. He examined the weathering patterns on the Sphinx and concluded it shows evidence of water erosion. Not wind erosion, water erosion. Which means it had to have been built before the Sahara was a desert. Which means it's at least 7,000 to 10,000 years older than the accepted date. He presented his findings, with data, with evidence. And he was ridiculed, dismissed, called a pseudoscientist. Not because his methodology was wrong, but because his conclusion threatened the entire timeline. Geostrategic interests. World powers don't want you knowing that civilization has collapsed before, that empires fall, that nothing lasts. Why? Because then you'd stop believing in their permanence. You'd stop sacrificing for their wars, their economies, their agendas. You'd stop believing that America or China or whoever will last forever. You'd start preparing for what comes after. And you can't have a compliant population if they're all preparing for collapse. Fear of unveiling cyclical catastrophes. If people understood that cataclysms happen on a predictable cycle, solar events, magnetic pole shifts, asteroid impacts, massive floods, they'd start preparing. They'd stop investing in the system. They'd stop working 40-year careers for pensions that might not exist. They'd stop trusting long-term planning when the cycle is ending. They'd live differently, prioritize differently, think differently. And the entire economic system, which depends on people believing in stable, predictable futures, would collapse. So they don't teach the cycle. They don't mention the pattern. They don't acknowledge the evidence. Here's the real danger. It's not that we learn the truth. It's that once we know the truth, we stop playing the game. We stop giving our power to systems that were designed to harvest it. We stop believing that this version of civilization is the final one, the best one, the only one. We start operating like what we actually are, descendants of survivors who've done this before. And when enough people activate that frequency, the system can't control them anymore. That's why they bury the evidence. That's why they mock the researchers. That's why they call you crazy for asking questions. Not because you're wrong, because you're awake. And here's the part that should make you angry. They didn't just hide the truth. They inverted it. They took the code, the civilization code that makes you powerful, independent, spiritually resilient, and they taught you to fear it. They called it conspiracy thinking, pseudoscience, dangerous misinformation, mental illness, delusion, paranoia. They pathologized your instincts. They medicated your intuition. They shamed your pattern recognition. Why? Because if you trusted yourself, you wouldn't need them. If you remembered your lineage, you wouldn't fear the collapse. If you activated the code, you'd become ungovernable. Let me give you specific examples of what they're hiding. Göbekli Tepe, Turkey, built 9,600 BC. Massive stone pillars, sophisticated carvings, astronomical alignments. This shouldn't exist according to the timeline. Humans were supposed to be primitive hunter-gatherers. No cities, no organization, no technology. And yet, here's a site that required massive coordination, advanced planning, and knowledge of astronomy. They found it in 1994. It's been excavated for 30 years, and most people have never heard of it. The Rishat structure, Mauritania, a massive circular formation in the Sahara, exactly matches Plato's description of Atlantis down to the dimensions and the concentric circles. Mainstream explanation. It's a natural geological formation. Even though it has evidence of human modification, even though it matches the description perfectly, even though it's in the exact location Plato described, the Sphinx water erosion. As I mentioned, the weathering patterns on the Sphinx show water erosion, heavy rainfall for thousands of years. But Egypt has been a desert for 5,000 years, which means the Sphinx predates the desert, which means it's much, much older than we're told, and that breaks the entire timeline. The Bosnian pyramids. Massive pyramid structures in Bosnia covered in vegetation. They look like hills now, but ground-penetrating radar shows they're man-made structures. Dating estimates put them at 25,000 plus years old. Mainstream archaeology denies they exist, calls them natural formations. Because if they're real, if they're that old, the entire story of human history collapses. The Denisovan bracelet, found in Siberia, dated to 40,000 years ago. A polished stone bracelet with a drilled hole so precise it could only have been made with high-speed drilling technology. 40,000 years ago, humans supposedly had crude stone tools and fire. And yet here's a bracelet that requires technology we associate with modern machining. They don't talk about this in school. The Longyou caves, China, massive underground caverns, hand-carved with incredible precision. Nobody knows who made them or when. But the sophistication is far beyond what should be possible for ancient people. Not mentioned in history books. The Antikythera mechanism. A 2,000-year-old Greek device that's essentially an analog computer. It tracks astronomical cycles with a level of precision that wasn't matched again until the 14th century. It shouldn't exist, but it does. And it proves that ancient people had knowledge and technology far beyond what we give them credit for. Here's the pattern. Every time archaeologists find something that doesn't fit the timeline, it gets dismissed as a hoax, explained away with implausible theories, ignored by mainstream academia, buried in obscure journals nobody reads, never taught in schools. Because the timeline must be protected. Because if the timeline breaks, everything breaks. So let me ask you something. Are you angry yet? You should be. Not at me, not at them. At the fact that you've been walking around with a superpower your whole life and nobody told you. You've been carrying ancestral memory, survivor instincts, collapse resilience coding, and instead of activating it, you were taught to suppress it, medicate it, ignore it. You were taught that your knowing was wrong, that your instincts were irrational, that your pattern recognition was paranoia, and you believed them, because you trusted the system more than you trusted yourself. Well, not anymore. Because the seventh civilization is ending. The cycle is turning. And the only people who are going to make it through are the ones who remember who they really are. So the question isn't whether the code is real. The question is, are you ready to stop letting them tell you who you are? Are you ready to remember? All right, we need to go deeper now. Because understanding the code intellectually won't activate it. You have to feel it. You have to become it. So let me show you how the civilization code actually functions in your body, your emotions, your nervous system. This is where it gets practical. This is where it becomes something you can use tonight. Now picture this, either on the screen or in your mind. A simple loop, a circuit. This is the civilization code in motion. It always begins with emotion, that spark of curiosity or inattention that tells you something deeper is happening. That emotional charge opens the door to mythic memory activation, where your nervous system starts pulling forgotten patterns and ancestral instincts from the archive inside you. Once that memory lights up, you naturally shift into behavioral alignment. Your actions, decisions, and reactions begin syncing with a deeper intelligence rather than surface-level thought. And when your behavior aligns, you trigger synchronicity. The right people, signs, and opportunities start appearing as if reality is responding to you. Follow that long enough, and you reach the final stage, reality shift. The moment where life stops feeling random, and you experience yourself as part of a much older, much larger pattern. That is the civilization code circuit, and once it starts, it doesn't stop. Let me break this down in a way that actually makes sense for your life right now. Step 1. Emotion. Everything starts here. Not thought, not logic, emotion, curiosity, awe, existential tension. These are the gateways. When you feel that pull, that magnetic, unexplainable pull towards something ancient, something hidden, something you can't articulate, that's not random. That's your code trying to activate. Most people shut it down immediately. They rationalize it away. They say, that's just my imagination. That's not real. I'm being silly. I need to focus on practical things. Wrong. That pull is the most real thing you've ever felt. It's your nervous system scanning for ancestral patterns. It's your body recognizing a signal that your conscious mind can't process yet. And the moment you lean into it, the moment you say, okay, I'm listening, the gateway opens. Here's what that looks like in real life. You're watching a documentary about Göbekli Tepe, and suddenly you feel this wave of recognition. Not intellectual, cellular, like you've stood in that place before. Like your body remembers something your mind doesn't. Your eyes might water. Your chest might tighten. You might feel a pull so strong, you have to pause the video. That's not emotion for emotion's sake. That's activation. You have a dream about water rising. Not a normal dream, a vivid, visceral, terrifying dream where you're running, climbing, trying to reach high ground. And you wake up with your heart racing, drenched in sweat, feeling like you just survived something. That's not a nightmare. That's ancestral memory surfacing. You see a symbol, an ancient glyph, a sacred geometry pattern, a spiral carved into stone, and something in your chest tightens. You don't know why. You can't explain it, you just feel it. That's recognition. That's the code trying to speak to you through symbols your conscious mind doesn't understand, but your subconscious absolutely does. Here's what most people do wrong. They feel the emotion and immediately try to rationalize it. Why am I crying over a picture of ruins? That's stupid. Why did I have that dream? I must be stressed. Why do I feel drawn to this? It's not logical. And they shut it down. But emotion is the language of the code. When you feel something ancient stirring, that's not a malfunction. That's the system working perfectly. So here's what you do instead. You feel it, fully, without judgment, without rationalization. You let the emotion move through you. You say, I don't understand this yet, but I'm listening. And you wait for what comes next. Step 2. Mythic memory. Activation. Once the emotion opens the gateway, your subconscious starts searching. It's scanning your DNA, your epigenetic memory, your collective unconscious archive for patterns that match the signal. And this is where it gets wild. You start remembering things you never learned. You start having instincts that don't make logical sense. You start knowing things about survival, about cycles, about what's coming, that you have no rational explanation for. Example 1. You've never studied geology, never taken a class, never read a book about it. But suddenly you find yourself obsessed with high ground. Not because you read about floods, because something in your body is saying, get high, stay high, water is coming. You start noticing elevations. You find yourself gravitating toward higher elevations when you travel. You avoid low-lying coastal areas without knowing why. That's not paranoia. That's ancestral survivor coding, activating. Your ancestors survived a flood, a massive, world-changing flood, and that memory is encoded in your DNA. Example 2. You've never been religious, never been spiritual, never meditated or done breath work or any of that. But suddenly you're drawn to fasting, to silence, to solitude, to sitting in darkness, not because it's trendy, not because you read about it, because your body is trying to access the same states your ancestors used to navigate collapse. Fasting sharpens perception. Silence clears mental noise. Solitude allows intuition to speak. Darkness activates the pineal gland. Your body knows this, your ancestors practiced this, and now you're being pulled to do the same. Example 3. You start noticing patterns everywhere. In politics, in economics, in social behavior, you see the same cycles repeating, the same warning signs, the same trajectory toward inevitable breakdown. Everyone around you is surprised by every crisis, shocked by every collapse, blindsided by every failure. But you saw it coming, not because you're smarter, because you can see the pattern. You recognize the signs of collapse, because your ancestors survived collapse, and they passed down the ability to recognize when it's happening again. Here's what's actually happening physiologically. When strong emotion opens the gateway, your brain shifts into a specific state. Theta brainwaves. The same state you're in right before sleep. The same state shamans enter during ritual. In this state, your conscious mind quiets, and your subconscious starts accessing deeper memory banks. Not just your personal memories from this lifetime, epigenetic memories, cellular memories, collective memories. And information starts surfacing that you couldn't access before. This is how people suddenly remember skills they never learned. A woman who's never gardened suddenly knows exactly how to grow food, which plants to pair together, when to plant, how to harvest seeds. A man who's never built anything suddenly knows how to construct shelter, how to find materials, how to make it weather resistant. A person who's never studied medicine suddenly knows which plants heal which ailments, how to dress wounds, how to set bones. This isn't channeling, This isn't past life regression. This is genetic memory activating. Step 3, behavioral alignment. Once the memory activates, your behavior starts to shift automatically. You don't have to force it. You don't have to try. It just happens. You stop doing things the old way. You stop trusting the same systems. You stop seeking approval from people who are still asleep. And you start acting like an ancient survivor. You seek high ground, symbolically and literally. You avoid flood zones, coastal areas, low-lying cities. You're drawn to mountains, hills, elevated terrain. Even symbolically, you start
I think Jibba Jabba.
seeking higher ground in your thinking, higher perspectives, elevated consciousness. You learn forgotten skills, growing food, purifying water, building shelter, making fire, preserving food, first aid, navigation without technology. Not because you're a prepper, not because you're paranoid, because something in you knows these skills will matter. You follow intuition over logic. You used to make decisions based on pros and cons lists, rational analysis, what makes sense on paper. Now, you trust your gut first. You feel into decisions. You let your body guide you. And weirdly, it works better than logic ever did. You reject false authorities. You used to believe doctors, politicians, experts, authorities knew better than you. Now, you question everything. You verify. You trust yourself over them. Not because you're arrogant, because you've activated your own inner knowing. You prepare without panic. You're not hoarding supplies out of fear. You're calmly, methodically getting ready. Water, food, skills, community, knowledge. There's no franticness, no anxiety, just quiet, practical readiness. You trust your body's signals over expert opinions. You used to ignore your body and trust external authorities. Now, your body is your primary intelligence source. It tells you what to eat, when to move, who to trust, what to avoid. And you listen. Let this land. You're not trying to do these things. You're not forcing yourself to be prepared. It's happening organically because your nervous system has shifted into survival mode. Not fear-based survival, but ancient, calm, certain survival. Here's the difference. Most people prepare from fear. They hoard supplies, build bunkers, stockpile weapons because they're terrified. They're imagining worst-case scenarios. They're panicking. They're operating from scarcity. But people with the code activated? They prepare from knowing. There's no panic, no paranoia, just quiet, practical readiness. Because they've done this before, not in this lifetime, but the coding remembers. They remember what worked, what didn't, what matters, what doesn't, and they act accordingly. Step 4, synchronicity. This is where reality gets weird. Once your behavior aligns with the code, synchronicity starts happening. Meaningful coincidences, perfect timing, right place, right time moments. You meet the right people at the right time. You find information you didn't search for but desperately needed. Opportunities appear that didn't exist yesterday. Doors open that were locked before. And here's why. You're no longer vibrating at the frequency of the default human program. You're vibrating at the frequency of ancestral memory. And reality, because it's responsive, not fixed, starts reorganizing itself around your new frequency. Real examples from people who've activated this. Example 1. A man suddenly feels called to move to a specific region. He doesn't know why. He just knows. It doesn't make logical sense. His job is where he is. His family is where he is. But the pull is undeniable. He follows it. He moves. 6 months later, the city he left floods, catastrophically. His old apartment building is underwater. He didn't have proof. He didn't have logic. He just trusted the knowing, and it saved his life. Example 2. A woman starts having dreams about a specific skill, metalworking. She's never done metalworking. She's never even been interested in it. But the dreams are persistent, detailed. She sees herself heating metal, shaping it, creating tools. She follows the pull. She takes a class. She's immediately good at it, unnaturally good. Within a year, she's teaching that skill to others. And when the economy crashes and people need practical skills, metalworking becomes her lifeline, her income, her value. Example 3. A person starts pulling away from their social circle, not because they're antisocial, not because there was a fight, because the frequency doesn't match anymore. Their friends only want to talk about surface stuff, sports, shows, gossip, and suddenly that feels hollow, empty, like a waste of time. So they naturally drift away. And within months, they've attracted an entirely new network. People who are on the same path, people who are also activating, people who get it, without trying, without forcing. The right people just showed up. This isn't the law of attraction. This is evolutionary memory resurfacing. The law of attraction says, think positive thoughts and good things will happen. This is different. This is align with your ancestral coding, and reality reorganizes around your frequency. It's not about positive thinking. It's about being in the right vibration.
Yeah, so allow me guys to pause it there. I'll share the rest of the video. It's like almost 1 hour left of it. Yeah, 1 hour 30 minutes, literally close to 1 hour 30 minutes left of the rest of the part of the video. I've shared this page before on the WhatsApp chat. The guy really has like really educative, spiritual, again, like you'd say, ancient conversation. So make sure you check it out, but I'm going to share the rest of it on the WhatsApp for those who'd love to continue. Personally, I do listen to his videos a lot, but let me go through the comments literally as we wind up with today's conversation and session right here. I see Ansankenwan, karibu sana. I saw Jibajaba asking who even eats McDonald's. Okay, let's see. Jason said exactly that's why my mother and me had certain dreams about the huge structures, especially the temple of the bird beak. It makes sense now. Past life memories. Me too. I do get that. I do get. Actually, not even. What I get is information of things that I've not experienced, but they are like really African information that I've not experienced this in my life, but I have certain information that sometimes I wonder where it comes from. But this video literally, again, it explains very well. You have to be aligned. The DNA, again, the DNA alignment. But Jibajaba also says, yeah, after 2 weeks of the C19 hysteria, I smell the BS. I also see John Mosquito says, yourselves know the past, future, and present. The question is, can we tap enough to hear? Can we tap enough to hear? And I also see Jiba says there's an ornate bridge I cross in the Pittsburgh. I must harvest energy because I feel all the wigged out crossing it. That static electric feeling. And I also see John Mosquito says, I believe so, Jiba, it can sense danger or a good future years ahead and start training you and preparing you. Yeah, I'm gonna share that. I also see Jiba had requested actually for me to share the same video. I'm gonna share it on the WhatsApp. I also see John Mosquito says we mistake the knowledge and understanding of knowledge and information as being spiritual, but it's more than that. I think that's what you meant. Even the white people have more understanding and knowledge. Does that make them spiritual? No, I don't think so. I don't really think so. Jibajaba says, shout out to Abdallah. Karibu Sana says we are beings of the light. And Sankenwan adding, and when the programmed see you, they point at you, and screech like that. characters on Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And Joe Mosquito says a threat to the social structure. The Dirty Black America says the video is a little bored when Caucasian is telling the story. That's an AI actually. Africa have over 4,000 million cattle. Do America but meat from Africa? Do America? What do you mean? I didn't understand that. This video is a little bit. Africa have over 400 million cattle. Do America but meat from Africa? I don't understand what you meant, but yes, we do have cattle literally in Africa. We eat real meat. If that's what you're trying to question, or
Jovi talking about real meat. You'll eat bush meat, Jovi. Be quiet.
I don't do that.
Anyway, yeah. See,
Okay.
so
Guys,
what Jovi's explaining, guys. Yeah, the food in Africa is better because there's less GMOs. It hasn't been complete. That's what they're trying to do. Bring the GMO foods to Africa so they control their agriculture, and so the Africans will be paying them for fake fucking food that gives everyone cancer. It's cancer. It's not any real food. So why would I be buying seeds from you? Go ahead, Dan. Why would I be buying seeds from you? Why would I be buying seeds from you? Right? That are naturally created from God, that are free, that can replenish themselves. Once I grow it, everything in nature makes a seed because it's nature. It's from God, the creator of the universe. Everything they do is always fucking unholy and outside of God. Every time. Everything they do. And so that's why they went around talking about they want to have everybody's medical records. You know what that's about. Kenya, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Ghana, Nigeria. Why do they want your health records? What do you think that's about? Oh, depopulation. All these diseases that all of a sudden come in Africa. AIDS. As I told you, AIDS wasn't no natural fucking disease. They come from no sex. The Africans believe, oh, we had sex, and come from no fucking sex. Came from Fort Detrick in a lab in America. The biochemical lab, one of the major biochemical labs in America, Maryland, but they shut it down because all the evidence went back to them creating AIDS. They always say they supposedly shut some shit down, but they never do. They didn't shut that damn lab down. It's still operating. You just not allowed to go near it. They're creating all these damn bioweapons and shit, releasing unholy mosquitoes in Kenya right now. I think that's what fucked up Jovi's hand. Jovi, what did they tell you about your hand? What did they tell you about your hand?
I need to do an X-ray because I
An
can't
X-ray?
tell. Yeah, my wrist now is swelling. My hand is still very painful.
It's still swelling?
Yeah, it's now
That's
swelling
some kind of,
on the wrist now. It's swollen.
that's some swollen?
Yeah.
That's some kind of bug bite because you didn't
Yeah, it didn't
you
fall.
didn't fall, you didn't sprain or nothing. That's some kind of one of them fucked up mosquitoes that they've unleashed in Kenya. Bill Gates ass. This is real. These are the most evilest motherfuckers in the world. It's evil, wicked shit that they do. Because you can't explain why your half your damn hand is swollen. You didn't fall down. You didn't hit on anything. There's no bruising. So it's coming from some kind of damn bite from some kind of insect. I'm thinking one of the fucking mosquitoes running around Kenya right now.
This is not making sense. Even the people I'm telling, they're just like, this is not making sense. If you did
See
fall,
the people you're telling, they saying that that's not making sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Jovi's hand? It's almost big as a goddamn basketball or some shit.
But yes, right now, Abdallah also says the timeline is critical to concealing who and what Caucasian really are. And I also see
It is. Well, they're dying out, so they're trying to tether themselves onto black women. Your genetics. Why do you think now, today, in the most evil empire on the planet, Black America, you see all these interracial commercials. They can't stand our black ass. But now every commercial's got a white man and a black woman. Every commercial, cookie commercial, car insurance commercial, goddamn grocery commercial. Oh, it's a white woman and a black man. I mean, white man and a black woman. Every goddamn commercial. What do you think that's about? Because they need the black woman's genetics to survive. They're dying out. They can't stand our black ass, but every commercial you got is fucking interracial. All of a sudden, all these interracial commercials, because it's called mind control. Right? They want to tell their people, it's okay to go get this black woman now, because you need her to survive. You need her eggs to survive, motherfucker. What do you think that's going on? It's called subliminal mind control. All of a sudden, all these interracial. You guys know I'm not lying? Tell me I'm lying in the chat room. Every time, every commercial is interracial. Shit, every commercial, it's got some fucking outlets of a white man and a black woman, or a black man and a white woman. Every commercial. These motherfuckers don't even fuck with us like that. Every commercial is some interracial shit. And they got their interracial bastard kids, bastard babies. Hey, mama. Hey, daddy. Like, what? What is this? What is this shit here? I know you exactly. I know you guys seen it exactly. Every commercial. You can't look at TV in America about some interracial shit now. Everybody's got a white man or white woman, so you know this is organized. It's organized. They would never remember. They kill you if you had a white woman or white man. They hang your ass. Now it's all the new rave, right? And you got black women online talking crazy about us now, right? The black man ain't shit. He ain't shit. I need a white man. You black men ain't shit. You got dominated by the. What would you hear on TikTok? You black men got dominated by the white man. You ain't shit. God damn, we ain't shit. You got dominated by the white man. So why should I be fucking with you? God damn. Like, and if you guys notice, if you guys know before we wrap up, how many minutes we got, Joby? Oh, it's on time. It's on time now. So if you guys notice, they let that psychopath Cynthia G back on YouTube. Now they destroyed us because we said to real our big numbers that got wiped out, right? If you guys notice, they got that crazy broad Cynthia G back on YouTube, who they took off because she says, black women, you need to abort your black babies. You need to get rid of black men. How are you having babies by black men? There's crazy bitches out here saying, why have babies by black men? If you have a baby by a black man, to abort it. They let that crazy motherfucker back on YouTube. Remember when I debated her 8 years ago? When I had to destroy her crazy ass? When our numbers were still big and we had that 200,000 subscriber channel that on people come. We had 4,000 or 5,000 people in the chat room, and she was talking crazy, talking about killing black children. We don't need to be making no more black children because they ain't no good. Like, what? What? This is a colonized mind, and she's back. Go look up. Hold on, Joe, real quick before we leave. I know. Go to YouTube real quickly. Look up Cynthia G on YouTube. Think I'm lying? This crazy motherfucker is back. And so let you know, well, you know who runs the YouTube, cats with the hats. You know, the fake you know what. So she's nuts. She says she's nuts. I know she's nuts. She's back. Her nutty ass is back because they want this out there. They want interbreeding right now. They want you to intermix. This nutty motherfucker is back. Why would you let her back talking about aborting black children? Talking crazy. Because they want that out there. They want the black woman with the white man so they can tether themselves onto your melanin because they're dying the fuck out. Because black genetics are superior. That's a fact, whether you like it or not. That's biology. Black people are the most superior people on the planet. That's a fact.
We about to go.
Black people, go ahead. Let me see what she said. Go ahead.
For some
Look at this
strong foolishness. As soon as we go public on YouTube.
See, look at this crazy motherfucker.
We are.
Look at this crazy black broad. She back on YouTube. How'd she get back on YouTube? Because they want her there. Talking about him
in here. He's
hating black, hate African men. you African men are sorry. You all weak. The white man, you know, so you say the white man didn't have his dick in your mouth and you taking it. What? What?
Even this video says that the root cause of the problems on earth.
Told you. See? Wait. So the video Joe just said the root cause of the problem on earth is the black man. See, she already coming back talking crazy. The root of the problem on earth is the black man. And they let her crazy ass back on YouTube because they want that dysfunction out there, guys. They want to derange black women, so you go with these white men who be unaliving your ass, doing all kind of crazy shit, right? Because they need your genetics. Just like you had the Black Girl Joby show. You know, my white husband, he called me a monkey and said I'm fucked up, and he still wants to have sex with me, that black girl. He called me a monkey. Well, ma'am, why are you still married to him? You didn't know he thought you was a monkey? No, you was caught in your white illusion. You were caught in the white man illusion nonsense. These fucking savages. You were caught in your illusion. You don't know that these are savages. But she's out there again, guys. I know she's back on YouTube. Can you imagine that? I had to destroy this bitch. I'm gonna say excuse me, but I'm gonna say this word. Because it reflects her, sadly enough. You know, I don't call no black woman the B word. But this is a bitch. And I had to destroy her ass 8 years ago, talking crazy. You know, and they got off of YouTube because she was too what? Inflammatory. Talking crazy about black people. Now she's back. How'd she get back on YouTube? How's she back on there? Because they want her there, guys. They need to derange the black woman globally. They need the black woman's womb to survive. Right? That's what they need. The black woman is the beginning of humanity, beginning of everything. So they need to tether themselves on to the black woman. That's why all these interracial commercials are fucking everywhere. You got, hey, baby. You're like, what? What is this? Hey, baby, would you go pick up some bread from the grocery store? Like, what the fuck is this? Some white man and some black woman. What? Pick up bread from the grocery store. Fuck am I looking at here? This is called mind control. This is damn propaganda. Anyway, much love, family. Everybody have a good weekend. Be safe. You know, help somebody black this weekend. You see an old black lady cross the street, you get your ass out there and help her cross the damn street with your no good black ass. That's your job. You see a black woman needing help with her groceries, you get your ass in there and grab her groceries. Mm-hmm. Black unity, black solidarity comes first. Black first always. Black people first. No matter where you're at. Colombia, Brazil, Kenya, Jamaica, America. Black people first always. So much love, family. Be safe.
Much
you know?
love.
And if not, I'm going to get that white man in Tanzania to come see Joby ass.
with my fucked up hand, I'ma still fuck someone up.
There was an E with her hand messed up. She messed somebody up. Don't play with her. All right. Okay.
We have a good weekend. See you guys on Monday.
You guys be safe. I'll be back on later tonight. I know you guys gonna laugh. I'm gonna try to come back on later tonight. All right. Don't go crazy. Much